Good afternoon. I'll do a quick update on the bike between last year and this year. I don't know if anybody really wants to know this stuff, but I'll just put it together and put it out there. Hopefully it'll help somebody. As you guys know, last year I ran Campy Chorus 12 speed. I am still running it this year, and some of the challenges I ran into was gearing. When I started bikepacking last year, I didn't really know much about it, like most, just watch a few videos and stuff, throw in some bags. I'd done some touring years past, a long time ago, ran triple and all that stuff, and touring wasn't for me. The bike was too heavy, so now I'm back into riding for bikepacking. I like riding the dirt roads, just less traffic and stuff, and so just been trying to dial this down and learn as I go. And so 12 speed Campy Chorus is what I started out with. 48-32 in the front. Between last year and this year, I actually changed out to an Ekar bottom bracket. It's just the cups. The difference between these two is the standard cups just have like a seal that you slide the axle through, and the bearings are on the axle on both sides, and it comes together. There's a bolt that holds Campy together. So with the reason why I switched to the Ekar bottom bracket was this is steel, and I was having some issues with a little bit of water getting in there, and the Ekar has just got like a plastic insert that goes between the two cups. They got rid of the seals basically, and they put O-rings in, and those three pieces come together, and it makes a solid piece, so if water ever gets through the bearings, around the bearings, it doesn't get in the frame. So I changed that out. Yeah, it works with Chorus 12 speed. During last year, I started out with a record hub, an 1134 Chorus rear cassette. Everything worked fine, and as I started climbing more, I realized I probably need a little deeper gears. I ended up going with a White Industries hub, and that way I could run SRAM. And with White Industries, you can switch this out to Shimano, Campy, SRAM. So if I would have done my research, obviously I should have went with this hub first, but I was trying to run all Campy at the time. So and then I ran SRAM 1136 with a Chorus rear derailleur, KMC 12 speed chain. Everything worked fine. Had no problems with it. And then late last year I decided I was tinkering around with getting bigger gears, and so I ended up doing a 1044 SRAM, and then at the same time I had to switch out to an Ekar rear derailleur, and I just wanted some time on this to make sure everything would work. And yep, everything works. I'm using an Ekar 13 speed rear derailleur with a SRAM 1044 cassette. I switched to a Chorus 12 speed because it's 5.15 millimeters, and that KMC is a 5.2, so I thought just a little bit smaller on the chain, and that way I was concerned about drag or anything hitting inside the derailleur, and so far nothing's hit and none of that stuff. So it shifts. How does it shift? So it shifts with this Ekar because I'm not using that shorter derailleur, the Chorus. It's a little stiffer in the shifts, so you can definitely tell there's a difference between the two. So other than that, this system is working. One of the last trips I did, believe it or not, I switched out to an Ekar GT, the new derailleur, and I went to I think it's a 1052 Eagle rear cassette, and what I was looking for is just some serious climbing. I got everything to work. Just the one issue I was having is occasionally I kept getting some ghost shifting, so there's definitely some drag in the cable. So I ordered some ultra smooth, what are the Campy cables, I'm trying to remember their name, ultra smooth or something. They're expensive, so I'll get this all switched out. So I wasn't 100% happy with that Eagle cassette. The last two jumps is a 42 to 52, and so I don't know if that cassette would really work. And yeah, the difference is this is kind of like a medium long cage, and the Ekar GT, I would call it a long cage, right? It's longer. So I think this is 3 inches bolt pattern to bolt pattern. I believe that GT is 3 3/4 if I remember the measurement. So they're not even the same. Everything's totally different on those derailleurs. They kind of look the same, but they're not. Everything's been different. So far I thought by going to that GT it would help work with everything, but this is because it's shorter. Excuse me, because this is shorter, this seems to shift better and everything. So I'm going to stick with this. I might tinker later with, I think SRAM makes a GT, a different cassette that's actually a 4452, and I'll check on that, but I just wasn't impressed. And so, you know, the reason why I'm doing all this is because I started with Campy, so I figured I'd just keep working with what I've got. And the issue is when you're bike packing is when you're going from like a 20-pound bike. This one all set up is right around 60 to 62 pounds the way I've got it, with the water, the sleeping system, the tent, food, cooking. And so you just need the gearing. You know, I use the other gearing, but here where I'm up in the mountains in the Sierras, you've got to get the gearing. So for me, I ended up making some Mullet, as I think that's what they call it. Basically, you're mixing kind of like a mountain with, I think now they call it gravel, but you're mixing like mountain stuff with road, trying to get this all to work. So that's why I'm doing all this, is just trying to not be as tired. And I think that's one thing that people don't understand, is bike packing is really taxes you. It makes you really tired. So what I was trying to do was trying to find easier gearing to make this easier, because I ride long days and, you know, trying to make this work. So manufacturers, obviously, they're going to avoid all this. None of this stuff says it's going to work. Will it work on your stuff? I'm not sure, because it really depends on the chain stays, how big your hub is. So there is some factors in all this. I think a lot of people say, hey, will that work on my stuff? And yeah, you're kind of on your own. You got to work it out. So for me, this is a 130 millimeter rear hub, right? So it's not the newer 142 or the 142 Boost, so it's a lot narrower. Chorus is generally, it's a narrower drivetrain, so it's also narrower. The difference between the GT, Ekar GT, and the Ekar is they've widened it a little bit, so that's why the bottom bracket cups work with the Chorus, is because it's a 145.5 on the Q factor, and I believe that Ekar GT is 151. So and that's why they keep changing everything around a little bit. One of the challenges I've had is I like a double in the front, and I've been talking about trying to get 43s in this. I can get a 43 in the rear. My frame is just slightly off from the factory, right? So I have to redish the wheel. If I redish the wheel, I'm not sure if this front derailleur is going to work, and I don't know if you can see that. So when you're in the large chain ring, that derailleur, this is a 38 millimeter tire, and you can see how close that is. So the front derailleur, I believe from Campy, they're recommending a 32 millimeter max. I've ran 32, 35. And I'm pretty sure the reason why this 38 works is just because I'm slightly off. So if I redish this, there's no way you're going to get a 43 in with this front derailleur. And that's one of you're seeing with these gravel bikes, is that they keep putting bigger tires in, so they have to keep changing the Q factor. That's why they've kind of got away from the doubles, because they have to push this out and they're running that single chain ring. So there is some limiting factors to all this. Some of the other changes I did is I made a new titanium fork, and I wanted to run a 43 in the front. And yeah, that is a 43. So I'm running right now a 43 in the front. I'm running a 38 in the rear. I used to do this back in the 90s, mountain biking. I used to run a bigger tire in the front, skinnier tire in the rear. Yeah, it changes the handling just a little bit, but with all this weight and everything, I haven't noticed anything. And the 43 in the front definitely helps with more vibration and cutting all that down. So I had the fork changed out, and I have also in here, I have a Swood Cycles, I think they call it a Twisted T 2.0, and basically I should probably pull the bag off, but it's a metal bar that comes out, and it comes down. Oh, you can see it right here, right? It's supposed to help hold the bag off a little bit. It's supposed to help it push a little bit forward, so you're off all the cables. And the idea is your cables aren't getting smashed, and it's supposed to help with, it'll help with shifting and stuff because you're not, twisting all those cables. So I was waiting for all this to make this work. My steer tube was too short on the other forks. That's one of the reasons why I looked at this. And so that spacer in there is, I think it's a 1/2 inch, or I think it's 12.5 millimeter. So yeah, I put all that in with this, and by doing that I could run this bag. So this is a change this year. This is a bag, Velo Orange is the company, and they had Roadrunner bags make that, and it's called the biggest bag, or bigger bag. It's like right around 12 liters, and it's got just a couple of buckles, and it's and it opens up, and it's just one big spot. So that's the kind of bag I like running. So that's been a change. This year I tried Volet straps, which I've never used before. A lot of people talk about them, and I'll never go back to Velcro. I can't explain it, but it's like once you tighten them down, it holds the bag, everything's fine. I went to Volet Direct. These are, I think they're called the extra large, and they're about 20% thicker. These are the 13 inch, and I think they're 1 inch wide. And so by doing this, I could run the bag. That twisted T-bar helps, and it doesn't move as much, so it definitely helps in the rough stuff. These couple changes has been a really nice change since last year. The couple of bags I kept going through. This type of bag is the one that bolts, or when you get it, you pull it up to the bar. I haven't looked at it. Most of these bags like this either run a wood dowel or an aluminum piece, so there's something in there that helps pull that in. You can see it's in here. The only thing I can see on this, the downfall is I've lost like an inch in the handlebars, right? So for like the grip, I'm kind of off. So these are 46 millimeter bars. I think to fix that, to get that extra grip that I'm missing, I probably need to go just a slightly wider bar. So I'll look into that. So other than that, everything else is pretty much the same from last year. I dialed most of the stuff in. So this year I'm just trying a few things. Like I said, I wanted to go to 43s just because I'm riding looser roads, and unfortunately the way I'm at the limits right now. So 38 in the rear is the best I can do. 43 is fine. The gearing's been all changed out, and it's been working fine. I'd like I'll probably tweak a few extra things, but that's pretty much it since last year. Sleeping system's the same, the tent's the same, and so far the way this is set up, it's working really, really well. So I guess that's about it. That's what I'm running right now. I'll do it, like I said, I'll tweak a few things maybe down the road, but so far this is kind of as is. This is how it's set. So